This is on the specific part that how we are working over the startups. As I worked over three, and I can say multiple startups where I worked over the web application, mobile application, including iOS and Android both. So, what is the, we can say, a path during a startup that, as I said, that I switched from EPM consultant to product manager. And when I joined from EPM consultant to product manager, I was completely non-experienced person for this profile, and I was simply aligned with EPM, role and responsibility, where I have to work only with the organization projects, how I can deal with a team of dev, how we can work with closely with BA, QA, like business intelligence or KPI teams who is reporting this, all dashboards of data. Uh, so how to switch, from EPM to product manager or any other profile to become a product manager or switch into the startup. The main purpose is switch over the startup field instead of, gaining any specific position, or we can say a designation, because when you are moving into a startup, you have to work completely as per that time period. Whenever a startup, being in a field, so there is no, we can say, specific role and responsibility. You are getting just I can say appointment letter in that, or we can say the joining letter, or uh, the confirmation letter in that you are getting your designation. By the way, you have to work whatever you can do in that environment. So simply, as I got an opportunity as a product manager in a startup environment, and the CEO, believed too much during my tenure that how I can pursue this complete journey with not only the specific designation or role and responsibility of that uh, job. I tried to give myself 100% 24/7 over the multiple things, like it is hiring, it is, client onboarding, preparing the NDA or contract, doing the product launch, sitting with the development team with technical leaders. Even I'm not a techie guy. I can say simply as a product manager or as an EPM consultant, I am only the business perspective person who is, understanding the complete working cycle and trying to present or demonstrate to the client or internal team. So at that moment, I was sitting with the tech team without having no understanding of work and culture, what they are doing, what is the monolithic, micro architecture, and etc., etc., back end, front end. But that is the time period when I understand how the things are working into the tech perspective. So during that, you are getting too much, or you can say huge experience over this field, where you can get your own hands-on experience with all over the, product strategy or product cycle. As a product manager, it is our responsibility to work on the specific product cycle with initiation, growth, market decline, and etc. But when you are working in a startup, what I get to know, I have to work over the multiple things like hiring, client onboarding specialist kind of role responsibility I followed. I also made some BRD, PRS. I prepared sprint plans over the Excel sheets. I have to work on uh, QA manual test cases. I have to write that sometimes. I have to take decision over the, some of the conflicts, and taking care of the team if project is getting closer. I have to also, withdraw a team. That is also a specific opportunity I got to, take a step in that. Simply on a product, a team is deployed, and I had to take a decision that are we going to continue with this client on this specific product or not, because the situation was too critical at that moment with that teams and client spoke. So I simply take action on my own with the hands support, or I can say complete uh, true vibes that yeah, you are taking the right decision with my CEO insights. And I withdrawn the complete team from that product and move on. because I know that instead of wasting time on that specific product where we are not getting any input from the client side and they are rushing on simply, so we just moved on. I completely remove the whole team members from that specific product and deploy over the different product. So this is the things and chance you are getting over the startup to understand this all things and try to work on this. There you are getting the complete experience of a leader, I can say, to understand each and everyone's perspective, work over the critical things like how you have to work on that product from 0 to 1, that we are saying from scratch. So this is the complete, I can say, a journey of a startup where you have to deploy yourself for 24 cross 7 to get that all over the experience of a startup, not with the designation, with your self alignment of 24 cross 7. That is all my point of view, and I can say the short view on this startup profile. And yes, as I said, I worked over the multiple startup, like two or three, and I'm going to continue this in the future too, because startup is the only thing right now where you can understand and gain this all experience. Otherwise, in the MNCs and extra, etc., whatever the company or organization you are going to join, you are fixed with that role and responsibilities that you align. So simply, if you want some extra with all over the working professionalism, you should join the startup. And if you need any answer on the specifications, because startup is not only for the particular time period, I worked over the multiple startups and more than 3 years. So there was a huge journey that I pursued, and each day there is a new challenge for you and you have to work on that. So there's a huge experience. I'm trying to explain all these activities and day portfolio, how I take care of these things and how I pursue my journey, and we will discuss on this simultaneously.